Hey guys, Ryan Rose coming at you here with my coming 4-year-old Sage, and today we're going to talk about drive and draw. This is something that is a simple move for you to make as you're working with a horse on the ground, but it makes a huge difference to the horse. So what I'm talking about is draw, as in anytime you're moving away from them and you're drawing them into, they're coming closer. Drive is going to be anytime you're stepping towards them and pushing them away. So it makes a massive difference to your horse, even though it's a pretty subtle move for you to make. More specifically, what we're going to talk about today is balancing it on a circle. So I want you to be more intentional on how you change directions with your horse on a circle. So if I have a horse that's unconfident and has more drift, where they tend to want to be away from me, I'm going to spend more time drawing them as I change directions on a circle. If I have a horse that tends to be a little bit pushy and wants to come into my space quite a bit, I'm going to do the opposite, and as I change directions, I'm going to step into their space and ask them to yield out of mine, all the while being on a circle. So let's get started. So even just this, of just backing your horse up to get in position, is an element of drive. So just kind of a little side note here. If we were talking about doing this at Liberty, I wouldn't recommend backing your horse up before you start your circle. I would recommend that you back up as you start your circle, okay? So if I was thinking about Liberty right now, I would back up myself and ask that horse to come around me like this, all right? If I was trying to get my horse to send out away from me to build distance, or to go into a trailer or do an obstacle at a distance, I would then back them out of my space and then send them at more of a distance, okay? So right from the get-go is where it starts to matter. Okay, so now let's talk about changing directions. So my horse here, Sage, she definitely has a little more drive than draw. It's very, very easy to get her to go away from me. I spent a lot of time building her draw intentionally, because innately drive is easy, draw is hard, okay? So we're going to show you draw first. So what I'm going to do is change hands with my tools here, pass the stick under the rope, step back, turn my shoulders away, and give her room to come around me. So I made it very accommodating for her, and I ended up back basically on the same circle that I was on. Let's do that again. Change hands, draw backwards, take my outside shoulder away from her so that she can just come around and I can maintain good flexion, good contact on the circle. One more time, just for good measure here. Change hands, back up. My right shoulder is going to go away, and I step back around and I end up on my same circle. So you guys see how I'm moving my feet, yielding away from her to create space. Again, that's for a horse that's more unconfident and it's easy for them to go away. Now you're getting fancy. So finish this by yielding those hindquarters. Draw her in. Good girl. Hey guys, I want to interrupt this video to remind you that if you want to see full-length videos in depth showing horses that are not necessarily as cooperative as mine is and learning these same games, make sure you go and check out thehorseman'suniversity.com. Use promo code ROSEHorsemanship to get a discount on your first few months of signing up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check that out. Okay, now the next version. This is going to be for pushy horses. So I typically teach the version I'm about to show you first, because basic fundamentals of horses is being safe around them, getting them to yield out of our space and not push us around on the ground, being safe with them. So we're going to create safety by having distance between us and them. So you're going to be able to back your horse out in the circle. You're going to be far enough away that you can send that shoulder away from you. See, now I'm out of the kick zone. So if I had a kind of a naughty horse on the end of the rope, I'm already far enough away that if they wanted to get feisty and kick out or whatever, they could do it out there at a distance. So as a rule of thumb, if I can reach them with my stick, they're too close. I want them to be out there at a distance, okay? Now, as I change directions here, I'm going to pass the stick under the rope just like before. This time, I'm going to slide my hand down the rope, get closer to her. I notice I also took a step, and I'm going to use this rope to redirect her eye. Once I've redirected her eye, then I can tag the spot with the stick and ask her to yield out of my space. Now again, this is very easy for her. She has no trouble with it. So I'm just showing you the moves that you would make as you set this up. One more time here. You change hands. You step towards the horse as you slide down the rope, redirect, get the new eye, so it'd be her left eye this way, and then I would tag that spot. This is very important. Notice I'm saying tag the spot. A lot of people, when you're doing this, especially if you have a pushy horse, that horse is going to get really offended and kick out at you if you go right at them. Okay, but if you just get that look on your face and you go after the spot, that horse can get out of the way and say, oh, it wasn't about me, it was about them owning space right there. So I really want you to think of that, own that space, not go at the horse. Pick a line, step out on that line and tag that spot. Be predictable for your horse to give them more certainty on what you're going to do with your actions. So go out there and give it a try, and make sure you hit subscribe.